Welcome back to the Bancy Showcast. Without further ado, Hector C, Part 2.
You've been in the scene a long time as a musician, as a sound tech. Now, do you see less and less young people at shows? The young people, like, 21 to, like, we'll say 26.
It depends on the type of music. And then the clicks are really tight. Like they don't they don't step out of their click, it seems. Um or there's hate and dislike for other clicks coming into their show type. Um One of the things that kind of upset me a while back was because I found myself doing a lot of hardcore shows, and I was getting called to work these hardcore shows, and um, I formed a bond with a lot of the bands, but there was still like I always felt something. And then one day that I didn't do a show, there was a kid that was like, "Oh, you weren't here last week?" I was like, "No, dude. Like these fucking punk kids showed up, and the hardcore kids wanted to fucking beat the shit out of the punk kid. Like they hate punk." I'm like, still, we're still on that fucking wave. I'm like, I thought that shit was over and done with. I mean, hardcore came from punk. So I don't know, man. It's like, I think, I don't think it's necessarily an age thing. I think it's just who you identify with and what you identify as versus age. Because I've seen all ages, like at a rockabilly show, you know, and then if it's like an old school band, then it's all fucking older people.
Yeah, like Lynch Mob, unfortunately. And that was a badass show.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you can tell it was definitely on the crowd that night.
yeah. And that was cool for me because man, I'm an older dude. If a young cat gets into my style of playing, cool, But I don't really foresee that because of what I choose to play. But yeah, like that night, that was really cool. I had a lot of, and it was actually really cool because I usually see like the older crowd as the least flexible crowd, just
I can see
because
that, yeah.
and they were actually the most flexible I've ever seen older patrons fucking show up and watch. Because like no one wants to listen to solo guitar, from my experience. Like it's not as popular because it's like what I used to always hear was like, "Where's the singing?" I'm like, "Bro, my guitar is the singing." I don't understand. It's like shit.
I mean, you could say it's kind of niche, but most metalheads are into shredding a solo guitar. Like, metalheads are into, like, say, like Nita Strauss's first album, or like a John 5 or Buckethead.
Yeah,
And I just like that shit. But I mean, that's not everyone's cup of tea, but within the metal community, I would think that give it over pretty big.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I I haven't played an extreme metal show. Well, no, that's a lie. I have. I have, and it was accepted really well. And I got people in my inbox like, "Dude, that shit's fucking great. You should do it more often, and you should play with death metal bands more often." I'm like, "Okay." Even though it's not death metal, I think the tunings that I use, since I play on H string, I think the tunings that I use and the keys I use kind of give the perception of, oh, that's heavy. That's probably more death metal than Satriani, which I would say it is. Um, but yeah, I get a lot of messages in my inbox about you know happy to see you play at this show, and I can't play at every genre, but as long as there's an edge to it, I'm sure I could play in it. You know, because I tried getting like because there's a lot of shoegaze alternative bands out there with killer fucking guitar players, killer. And I've tried booking shows with them, and they first of all they trip out that I play guitar. When I send them what I play, they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't know you played like that." And then at the end, it's like, "Well, we can't really do it." And I'm thinking, well, they're probably like, "Well, it's not our style. Your stuff doesn't fall into our style." So I think they're limiting it. I'm not limiting myself. I pretty much get limited to what I can jam out to, jam out with. But whatever. I mean, I don't. It's not like I play every weekend anyway. I play whenever the guys can get together with me and jam out.
But in a way, that's good. I mean, you want to play, but you don't want to be those bands who plays every weekend or every other weekend. Because as good as those shows can be, if I can see Hector 5 days a week, what's the appeal? I can see him whenever the hell I want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like one of the best shows I had, kind of tripped me out actually. And it's weird because friends actually came to the show, and friends that I didn't expect to come to the show came to the show. We opened up for this Dio slash Ingve tribute band,
Oh, nice.
and the guitarist was a fucking beast. Like he's a motherfucking beast. And so, I saw them sound check, and I was like, Jesus, I'm supposed to fucking play with this guy. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna do my best. We haven't played in a while, and fucking we got on stage, sound checked, and then when I decided to look up because I hadn't looked up, the fucking bar was packed. Like the bar area, it was all packed, and I was just like, "Where'd these fuckers come from?" Like, that's a lot of fucking people. I've never seen this many people for like a tribute. At least for like this type of tribute, like Ingve and stuff. Like people aren't really into Ingve. It's weird. And so we played. I was hearing cheers after each song, and I was like, "What the fuck? Am I high? Like, what's going on here?" And then when I was done playing, people came up and they're like, "Dude, it was awesome seeing you. Fuck yeah, great." I was like, "Cool." And I'm trying to break down and shit. They're like, "Hey, hey, hey." I was like, "Hold on, gotta break down." They're like, "I just want to say, fucking fuck yeah. It's awesome seeing you play again." I was like, "What the hell?" It was so weird. And then so I got my shit off. The guitarist runs up. He's like, "Hey, I heard somebody was fucking playing for the love of God from Steve Vai." And we covered it that night. I was like, "Yeah, I played it." I go, "But I bipped it, dude. My high E string got stuck on my third fret, so I had like no notes for like a good while." He's like, and then his chick, because his chick was the singer, she was like, "No, dude, they're sick." And I was like, "Well, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. And then so I put my shit away, go and sit down. Everybody that was here when I played was literally here for me. I was floored by that shit. I was like, man. And then one of my buddies, he was like, "Hey," he's like, "You do realize that everybody went to go fucking see you, right?" I was like, "Now I do." I go, "Why didn't you fucking assholes stay? Like, you guys didn't even stay for this band. Dude, they're sick." "Well, it's because they don't really know eBay." I'm like, "So? You know Dio?" "Yeah, but like, yeah, we went to see you." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, but like, I even said stick around for these guys, and you guys didn't fucking stay. That was fucked."
That happens a lot here.
Yeah.
That's one of my more gripes with the scene. It's like bands need to support each other and the fan bases too. I mean,
I'll be honest with you, it happens everywhere. And it doesn't seem like it because you don't really hear about it, but it's everywhere. Um, it's sad. It's fucking sad. Like I've been on tour, you know, getting ready to do our set. I'm on sound, and I'm like, what happened to everybody? And then later on, and I start hearing like, as the show's over and everybody's fucking networking, talking, having drinks together. They're like, dude, that opener brought all their fucking people, and all their people left when they left. I was like, jeez. I was like, it's ruthless, man. It's just like fucking so cutthroat. It sucks. And, it can make a band feel like, fuck, what are we even here for? But You know, you can you can be a dick and be like, you know what? They pay to get in, so that's our money. You know, hey, fuck it, man. You wanna fucking play play some hardball? That's the hardball truth. They pay to go see their buddy's band, but their buddy's band isn't getting any of their fucking money. You are. Oh well, because there's a trade off.
Yeah, but you gotta draw those fans to play hardball. I mean, you obviously do, but
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. It's just it's become so ruthless. I would say it's if your attention span sucks and you're really not interested in but just one band, then it's gonna show. It's definitely gonna show, and I don't know.
just have a few beers, go on the patio, hang out, and then come back later. I mean, you don't have to leave the venue.
But see that's also a motherfucker too, because like I've been to shows, doing sound where I've come and set up, and I'm shaking hands with all these people I know, bands, or just people that watch the bands. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm glad you're on the board and this and that, and hell yeah, dude, you need to check out this band or blah blah blah, whatever I've seen. And then you know everybody's out in the patio getting fucked up, smoking, and they're not watching the locals. And then the fucking main band comes on, and then they come out. I'm like, why wouldn't you come out for your locals, man? Like, that's why you've got a show. Like, the locals were, it was heavy on the locals for a fucking reason. Like, you should have gone to see the locals. And, you're going to have your tastes and all that kind of shit. But I got so tired of thinking about all this shit that we're talking about that I, I, I just try not to think about it because it's stressful. It's stressful for bands. Um, it's all bands. It's stressful, and it's like, man, I invited all these people and I sold all these tickets, yet no one was on the floor watching us. And they could be a good band and have no one watching them. Like, wow, okay,
I've seen that many times, and it really sucks. Like, man, this is a killer set, and like, I'll tell you one example. I forget the touring band, but they canceled, and it was just Death Gravity Among the Living, and they just played a couple hours. Oh, Gravity went on first, but they went back and forth doing covers, hopping in and out of each other's sets. I'm like, Bonnie, this is fucking awesome. Press record. Like,
yeah,
but it was in front of like maybe 12 people.
yeah, of course, yeah. And so I can tell you because, like, I don't know um if you ever took a class like at the university level of like from jazz to rock or music appreciation or anything like that.
I did theory in high school, and I did not do very well.
Okay, so when I went to UTEP, one of the classes I took was from jazz to rock, and we were forced to buy a fucking tape that had literally from jazz in the early 20th century to late 21st century bands music, and you're forced to listen to this fucking tape because if you didn't and you couldn't answer what band that was, you're fucked. And it showed that you weren't listening to the fucking tape. And I learned the hard way because, you know, I had forgotten to listen to the tape and I scored like a 40 on my test. And I was like, what? And the guy, I remember the teacher was like, come on, man. Oh, Mr. Gutierrez, who recently passed away, Ruben Gutierrez. He was my from jazz to rock teacher. And he was like, come on, man. I know you're a guitar player. You look like a guitar player. He's like, you need to listen to all this stuff. It's really good stuff. You'll learn some good stuff. I'm like, okay, got it. So I started listening to it in my tape player instead of the regular tapes that I was putting in my tape player going and coming from school. I got really good at like figuring out music eras and players and all that kind of stuff. And it gave it you learn how to appreciate music because you'll sit there and talk about you listen to a song in class and you'll be like, all right, what stuck out the most to you? And then you're like, well, the clarinet. Yeah, but the clarinet wasn't the solo instrument. It was violin instead. Yeah, but the clarinet stuck out because I liked the melody or whatever. Okay, cool. Or the drum stuck out to me because I liked the way the dude was. His ostinato was just perfect, and it created a sense of this or that. All right, cool. So you learn these little aspects, these little details about what makes a song, and then fast forwarding to all the years of being in front of the board or behind the board. You know, I really haven't listened to a lot of music for a long time now. Um, and so I haven't learned about new bands or whatever, and I'm good with that, because I've been more about what how to put the stuff together, you know, how to how to mix instruments to make one cohesive sounding signal sound source. And what I recall every time I've been at this venue or now any other venue is just how enjoyable it is to watch these unsuspecting fucking musicians. Like, I've met so many people that I didn't realize was the drummer and the bass player, the guitarist or the vocalist. They're like, yeah, are you the sound guy? I'm like, yeah. When's the first band? I have no clue. No one's told me shit. All right, cool. And then next thing you know, they're the third band. And I'm like, I didn't realize you guys were the third band. They start playing, I'm like, holy shit. These guys are fucking amazing. Amazing. And I'm just blown away. And of course, I'm getting blown away by everybody because I have to listen to the music. I have to listen to the instruments to make sure that everything's leveled off in relation to the other instruments in the band. And just once I've got my mix and I'm listening, I'm like, damn, like this band really wrote a good song. Their choice of chords or the choice of vocal style or their choice of melody, like I'm breaking all this shit down and I'm just like, I'm spoiled. I'm I'm spoiled and I'm fucking blessed to be in the position that I'm in because I get to hear everybody unlike everybody gets to hear, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just it's it's otherworldly. And you can even get off on the spirituality of the band, you know, the spirituality being all the heart and soul they're pouring into the music. And it's just like, geez. I mean, I've had people make me fucking cry from how great their vocals sound and the choice of notes and how they have crescendos and build-ups and fucking resolutions. And I'm like, damn. Like, I'm like, man, I'm spoiled. I'm fucking spoiled. And people don't even realize I'm doing that. They just think, oh, he's just there doing this. I'm like, no. Like, I'm trying to fucking convey this music to CD quality fucking listening to where it's like pristine, clear, and there's nothing mixed, you know? And that's my job as a fucking front of house guy is to get you to feel what I'm feeling, what they're making us feel. And if I can see that happening, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my fucking job.
A lot of people don't realize that. They think, oh, he's the sound guy. Well, go to any bar. You can go to any random small dive bar with a shitty PA, and you're not going to get that.
No. And see, it's not it's an understanding of frequencies and what is pleasant and what isn't pleasant, what is overbearing, and what is um the sweet tonality to the ear. And you know, if you don't have control of any of that, you're not going to get that result. And see, I almost became part of a discussion online with this one guy that I know. He he posted a screenshot where the band, this guy came out of a show the night before, and he was like, "Man, I don't understand how anybody's even fucking putting up with this shit. All the venues in El Paso suck. All the fucking sound sucks. Why does it suck? Like the bands aren't even. Every fucking band that I come across tells me our sound sucked." And I'm thinking to myself, well, you have sound guys that, or just sound techs. It doesn't have to be a guy. It could be both. That they don't understand what needs to be done. A lot of the people that I've met are super fucking technical. They on the road and in town. They all of a sudden blurt out some fucking tech shit. I'm like, huh? And it catches me off guard because I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking in my head how I'm going to formulate everything to make it sound great that night. And these guys are over here trying to fucking play whose dick's bigger, by knowing more jargon than me. And, oh, I went to school, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, cool. You can go to school for it. And I've met some dudes that have benefited from it. And I've met a lot of them that are just full of hot air. And, there's a lot, there are a lot of people out there saying that they're sound techs when they shouldn't even be at the board. They should be um, shadowing somebody and learning from that person. And that's what these guys were talking about. I was about to jump into it, but I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to jump into it because I don't need to. I already know this fact. I know the fact that there are, because I've been told at certain venues, like, oh, don't raise that. That's like too much. I'm like, dude, it's metal. Like,
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not talking about.
it's like the fucking kick drum has to click, you know? And they're like, that doesn't make sense. I've been with colleagues that I've worked with at like um churches doing the kermesses and all that kind of stuff. Hey, there's something wrong with your kick drum. Like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, what's that? That click or snap or what is that? I was like, oh, that's what a metal kick drum sounds like. Oh, dude, bring that down. I'm like, no, that's how it's supposed to sound. That's weird. I'm like, what the fuck? And these are all the people that are like the technical minds. They're like, the book said you should only raise it 4 dB. Anything past 4 dB can cause extreme feedback or harsh tonalities. And it's like, no, dude, like you have to use your ear, not what to read. You use your ear to create or replicate what the band did on their fucking album. And if they don't have an album, but you know that the genre, you go by the genre.
But you can learn that just not playing around with it. 'Cause I don't expect nothing, but I've done that. I've raised it more than 4. It's like, oh, let's see what happens. I don't get feedback.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, like I said, you use your ears, and you know, it's it is what it is. I mean, I've there's been times where I've tried jumping in to help somebody, but they take it as a personal shot. So I just learned to like just keep my mouth shut, and you know what, if they're gonna get offended, then it's not my place to fucking tell them, you know what, you need a little bit more of this, or it's muddy, take out this. It's like, you know what, if they don't want to learn, if they think that their shit doesn't smell, then I can't. I'm not gonna try to change them.
And for the record, you do this full time. I mean, sound, music, production, everything.
Yeah.
Touring.
Yeah, it's my life. So I mean, I live and breathe what things sound like, what things should sound like, what things sound like in my head. Um, and see, one of the biggest. So there's two worlds. There's two different worlds. The first world and the main world is what people are hearing on stage. If the band doesn't like the mix you provided, they're gonna talk shit all night. Well, we sound like shit, bro. This, that, and the other. Okay, cool. How did it sound out there? Well, it sounded killer. Well, it sounded like shit on stage. And what you want is both to fucking be happy to the crowd and the fucking band, you know? Because it's not about you. You're the fucking you're the device in the middle, you know, laying it all out so that everybody's happy. You know, you're not mixing for yourself. You're mixing for the people. And there's a lot of that shit that goes on where it's like, no, I'm right. It's this is how it should be. It's like, no, dude, like people are gonna tell you. And if you don't listen to that, you're ignorant, you know. Because I shit, dude. I got thrown into the fucking fire here, and it was definitely hellish. Because when people would fucking definitely not like what you were doing, they'd let you fucking know what was that shit. What was what? Sounded like shit. Vocals were muddy. Guitar sounded great. I guess you're a guitarist. The drums sounded great. You're a drummer probably, but vocals were shit and there was feedback. It's like, fuck, you know. And you just, there's if it's like how I learned, it's a lot of trial and error, you know. And, of course, I've watched videos and tried to learn without having to go to fucking school and, you know, I'm still learning stuff. But the basis of what I do is there, and if somebody shows me something new and it fucking benefits me, I'm more than happy to fucking. Either way, I'm more than happy to fucking listen because I may learn something that I might want to add to my repertoire, and then I may learn something I don't want to include, because it may not work for me, or for what I'm hearing. But I could tell you I've mixed everything at this point. I've mixed the fucking an orchestra. I've mixed fucking uh, acoustic instruments. I've mixed hip hop. Um, I've mixed so many styles of music now that I can say I've mixed everything. And not once did I make a country band sound like a metal band. You know,
That would be weird.
that would be weird. But see, you have people out there doing that shit. It's like you'll hear the country kick going, and it's like, why is that shit clicking like it's a death metal kick drum? It shouldn't be. It should be. It should have some attack, but not that type. You know, it should have attack and punch. If it's fucking country, you know. But if it's death metal, it should have that punch and the fucking click. You know, that's whatever. I love what I do, and I I get I get asked sometimes for what it is that I do. Um, but most of the time when I get asked, it's when I'm the most busy. So I probably come across as like fucking bothered, but it's like, dude, like I'm busy as shit right now. I need my ears. I need my ears not listening to your questions, but listening to what's going on stage. And you know, I don't mind answering because I've had discussions like this um, after a show, and it's up to you if you want to use what I've presented or keep searching for it on your own. I mean, we all have that right, you know. But yeah.
A couple things I want to ask you about Strange Days. You and James. Well, James Studio. You're the head producer.
Mhm.
How did you start doing that for him? And who have you produced besides? I know Oh Malo and the F Bombs, and just give us like a brief overrun of what you've done and what you do and what services you may offer to local and other bands.
So James had hit me up years before it had even started, and for some personal reasons, I couldn't go and help him, help build the place. And I told him, I was like, look, I can go, but it could be one day I'm helping you, and then the next day I have this issue and I can't be here, and I may not be here for a month. I go, so I don't want to commit to you and then fucking leave you hanging. I go, so it's not because I don't want to do it; it's because I can't do it on a consistent basis. And so, I had to talk to him for a while. I got really busy with what I was involved with, and then once the air cleared, um, I messaged him and I was like, "Hey, man, I finally have time. I don't know where you're at." He's like, "Oh, I'm almost done building this shit. You want to stop by?" I was like, "What?" So I went, and that's when he was putting the the flooring in the drum room, and he had already had some help wiring up the system. And I was just like, damn, man, this is quite impressive. He's like, well, you're still more than welcome to come and produce here. He's all, it's up to you. He's all, I know you're doing stuff at home because I was working out of my garage. I lost a lot of business because I was working out of my garage, which was weird because the recordings were still coming out clear. They're still fucking good recordings. But so yeah, like he offered me, and I was like, okay. So um, we did Shalem.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Mm.
I did Travis a few months ago.
Yeah, we did Shalem. Um, Puerto Romano. Um, we did these young dudes. I forget the name of the band because it's
Did you do Genocide Junkies too, or is that before the studio?
Genocide was before the studio. That was in my garage actually. So listening to that, you could tell that it was actually a good recording. Um, out of my garage. But so yeah, I've done Genocide, Extremity. Um, I mean, I've done a lot of bands over the years. It's how I became known in the scene. I was constantly recording out of my parents' um, garage, which was a daycare back then. So it was kind of more set up to actually record at that point. So I had been recording since 1995 there at my parents, and then so yeah, I mean, we haven't had um, a lot of traffic. There's an oversaturation of studios and home studios in town. Then of course you got the big dogs in town, but any chance I have to you know show somebody where I track and stuff, um, so invite them.
But let's be real. This isn't a typical home studio. This is a professional ass setup.
Yeah, it is, and it's got some high quality preamps, Neve preamps. Got a really killer board, the SQ7 from Millen and Heath. Killer mic setup, some Lawton drum mics, AKG, um, condenser mics. Um, we've got plenty to play with, and like you saw recently, the F bombs, we actually recorded them live to multitrack. So that was the first time we did that, just because the session called for it. They're more of a live band, and they wanted to retain the live essence. So I was like, let's do it live, man. Got the vocalist, acoustic guitarist in there, and I got the acoustic bass in there also. Had the drums isolated with the guitars isolated, and it worked out perfect, man. You know, did a few takes before we came to the final take, and it was all good. No overdubs. Nothing was overdubbed, so it was a great performance, and it got the live feel. We didn't use click track, and that's the thing. Everybody uses click track, which is cool. But there's been bands that are like, no, we want to do it live. It's like, by all means, let's do it live. Um, I've done I've done non-click track assisted recordings where the band wants to fucking keep it live, but I'll go in there and like be their fucking human metronome, you know, and that works too. So just whatever it takes, whatever it needs, we'll do. And like I've told you, I've worked with all sorts of music, so nothing nothing is off the table. It's all on. Whatever type of music you've got, you bring it. We'll take it to that higher level.
Gotta come over to the west side, guys. It's been over here.
Yep, yep. So, but yeah, it's in a good location. Um, there's not a lot of traffic. The rooms are pretty much sealed off to any little rumbles or any fire engines passing by and ruining a take or dogs or anything. It's all pretty isolated. So it's a really good environment. James is a killer dude, good friend. Um, is a really good people person. Gets along with everybody
He does.
that goes through there. So um, and I'm me. So most of the people that I've had there already know me, so we've gotten along.
Speaking of James, how many Blacktooth grins per session? I'm just curious.
Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, that's his thing. I'm working, so I don't imbibe anything but water, you know. But yeah, he's catered to the talent where they're hungry or they want shots or I just want water, whatever, or sweets. Like he's catered to the talent, and he's got the right mindset for it. So
Yeah, in addition to studio, he also does back. I've had him a few sometimes do backline. He does video, photography. I'm sure other things I'm forgetting about.
oh yeah, yeah, he does all that stuff. So I mean, he's taking video of the bands performing their tracks, and or like the last one he did was the F bombs. He went full on live with them. So um yeah, he's got all the goods. He's got the video, he's got the backlining. So it's a really cool setup. We've got the setup for live studio and then video for live and studio. Even fucking if we really wanted to, we could actually do what is it? You know, go through the YouTube channel,
Oh yeah, the old school
the
Pantera
live
footage.
the live streaming. Yeah, and he's got that too. But yeah, like we could live stream stuff if we really wanted to. So
I mean, he does an incredible job in video. I mean, he did 3 songs for Band. Well, some of your stuff too over at Powerfest. And
yeah.
fucking killer quality.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and he gets on that right away. As soon as he's done taking the video, he goes straight to his workstation and starts uploading stuff to the web. So they're really good at really good work ethic on both ends with him and I.
Yeah, I remember it was a Powerfest a day or two later. I got like DMs every 2 hours. Hey, I got this band up. Got this band.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah. He's on it. He's definitely on it. So, but yeah, anybody out there wanna work together? Definitely open to all styles of music. Um, like I said, I've had experience with all styles of music, so I'm not leaving anything out. Everything's welcome to the table.
And again, there's Strange Daze Studios over on the west side. I forget where Robus Rafa's Candido. Around the corner from me.
It's on it's off of Wrestler on Dawn Drive, 6430 Dawn Drive.
There you go.
Yeah.
One more question. Actually, just kind of two questions. To hype your upcoming events, you do the Monarch Tuesday night rehearsals. Anything coming up? Any current lineups?
Actually, yeah. Tomorrow at Monarch for the Tuesdays rehearsals. Um, I've got um the Genocide Junkies and the Dead House. Those are the shows. They're shows, but they're really just an opportunity for bands to practice and rehearse their stuff in a live setting while people are looking on, having a beer, or drinks, or whatever. And if you don't take advantage of this opportunity right now, it may disappear because there are talks about it being squashed. So, you know, the scene is the only those in the scene are the ones that are going to make this flourish. And I'm doing my part. I'm constantly flyering, flyer on Facebook, on Instagram. I tag Monarch and the bands. It's always at 10 p.m. First band's at 10 p.m. and the second band's at 11 p.m. What else?
Now, before you doing it by genre, are you still doing like hip hop one week and then metal the next, or
I'm trying to. It's just so difficult because either bands or it's weird too because excuse me, a lot of the bands practice on Tuesdays, but they'd rather practice at home than have an opportunity to come practice with a live sound tech of more than 20 years experience and a full PA. But, you know, I can only entice you so much with words. You have to go down and see it for yourself. I'm constantly putting video up on reels so that people can hear for themselves how clear the sound is. You can ask any of the bands that have been there what their experience is, and I guarantee you it's going to be a positive one. Um, so I've got that. I've got that going on Tuesdays. It may not be every Tuesday now, but we're trying to keep this alive. So it's up to you guys. Like I said, I can only do so much. I promote it the best I can, and it's a good experience. I mean, I had a band actually show up and work on two songs before they played their set, and they actually took up the whole hour. And it was used correctly with what it was intended for. To go in and
I mean, it's pretty much a scrimmage. I mean,
yeah, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to? I mean, when I used to practice with both of my bands in the past, we used full PA in our fucking rehearsal space. If it fit or not was not the issue. It was whether we sounded good in there or not. And that's what that idea is to actually get a full PA to represent what you're doing, for your practice. I mean, everybody gets to hear themselves on a monitor and they get to hear themselves on the the speakers that are used for front of house. And, I know there's other activities going on around town, but this is based on a whole other concept. No one else is using this concept. And, you know, it's on Tuesdays. It was on Wednesdays, but it got changed over. And I was able to get it back up on a Tuesday and, I don't know, utilize it, man.
and get my butt down there too. My schedule's kind of weird, but it's my goal to get my butt down there. I know I've been slacking off, but
No, I mean you've been busy, man. You got work, so I get it. And so I understand. Bands. A lot of bands have work the following day, but one thing I understand as a musician in the past, you know, doing the practice thing is, you got the members that show up late and show up with beer and get fucked up and then go home. I mean, what's the difference? I mean, you're gonna get up late. I mean, you're gonna go to bed late anyway. Why not do it at a venue that's letting you practice there? I mean,
and gain another fan or two.
Yeah, and you know that's the thing is like a lot of people have shown up over time, and you know have people that become fans of the bands, and they take video, and I'm not the only one taking video, and this stuff gets circulated, and it's a cool thing, and a lot of the bands have realized it's a really cool thing to have, and I've presented the issue that it may go away, and they're all bummed, and they've taken the step forward to say, hey, like put us on for the next one you got, right? So and I try to I've reached out to all the bands I can reach out to, but I don't have everybody's contact. And I mean, if you hear about it, reach out. It's on Instagram as Tuesday's Rehearsal. If you can't find that Instagram handle, look for the Hector C 333 on Instagram, and you can get a hold of me there, and I'll direct you to the Tuesday's Rehearsal Instagram. So it's just a matter of making those few steps to attain a D. I think that would be the other thing is follow through with bands. The bands lack follow through, and um, it's a good habit to have if you want return on investment.
Yeah, when Hector or any promoter, Hector or myself, and contacts you, if you can't do it, just say, "Hey, man, thanks for asking me, but I can't do it." Or just how many bands will invite them to something, or you say, "Hey, do you want this booking?" And they don't respond to you, and then 4 months say they want to know why you don't book them. Well, dude, you never answered any of my texts. Of course not.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm human too, so like one of the last contacts I had, I answered late, and it was just I came across a little wall. I ran into a wall, and I apologize for responding late, but I I try to be as perfect as possible, but that one was my fault, and I admit when I
Yeah, but you owned up to it and you made amends, and you just, oh, fuck it.
yeah, no, I definitely make amends. So, but yeah, um, I'm quite busy. I want to involve you in my busyness, and
Yeah.
hey, if everybody's truly striving to make a music scene, then you got to put the work into it, man. You just can't say, oh, we should have a music scene. Well, I mean, yeah, we should, and follow through with that shit. Follow through with actions.
And it comes on, it's not just the bands. I mean, it comes on the consumers too. I mean, you're going to a bar and get drunk on Friday night. So go to a bar or bands play, get drunk there.
Yeah, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, there's so many times that the friends. That's why I was saying like with that show where my friends all showed up. I mean, that's rare. That's rare when you actually get like a whole group of friends show up for you, because usually it's strangers that show up for you. Um, one I made a post about that, and the person I was talking about runs this page called Squish a House Promotions, and I really want to give a shout out to her because man, she was at one of my Tuesday nights, and she just told me, man, if you have a flyer or an event, like send that out, send it to me, because I have another thing going on called Into the Witching Hour, and it's my brand of a goth industrial night, and when she went to one of the first ones, which was held on Wednesdays, she told me that too. She's all, dude, I did this. You send me those flyers. And I was like, okay. I took it for granted that she was gonna put them up. She fucking put it up that same night. And I was like, damn, she's not fucking around, and I love her for that. That's just somebody totally unbiased that just wants to make the scene flourish. They want to see the scene flourish in all aspects. You know.
And those individuals are worth their weight in gold. I mean,
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm very grateful for people like her. So we need more people like that, and like you, Mike, because I mean this is a cool little thing that you're doing here.
thanks, I tried.
You I know I jumped at you to fucking do it because I like flapping my trap sometimes, and I think this is probably the best I've ever flapped it because I usually come across those dead points in my head where I like the transmission kind of got paused, but it's been a pretty cool and clear thought process, and it's you know answering your questions. So
No, I
thank
was
you.
glad to have you, man. This is awesome. Like, you just like, hey, I want to go. I was like, okay, when you want. Nah, it's been a cool conversation. Anything else you want to add? Any upcoming gigs, the tributes or Hector C experiment?
uh, yeah, no, nothing coming up soon. I just want to get in the studio and start tracking that shit and just get it done, just so I could say, hey, it's on one of the platforms to go listen to it. But nothing yet. I think the year is just kind of winding down at this point, and but yeah, I look forward to being active musically. I have an idea for something. I'm not gonna divulge it yet, but there's an idea, and hopefully, when that's said and done, can actually make more show of it.
Awesome.
Because I'm actually I miss being a vocalist and a guitarist at the same time. Because that's a whole other fucking vibe. Playing guitar is one thing, but playing and singing is a whole other one. And I have some things to say.
Sounds promising, man. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. So you'll be there.
Yeah,
You'll be there. I'll let you know.
yeah, if I have to get sick that day, well, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug real quick? Or?
Um. Well, just hit us up at Strange Daze Recording Studio if you're looking to do a project. It could be single, could be a whole EP or a whole album. Um, if you need some good ears for your live sound, hit me up. Guess the best way to hit me up is phone number 915-920-2059. The second way is through Instagram, which would be the underscore Hector underscore C underscore 333. And, hit me up. Let me know what you need. And I'll be your sound tech for the evening or for your tour. Just let me know.
Yeah, man. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming out. This has been fucking awesome, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.